courtyard. So this courtyard was built by the Franciscans when they came here in the 14th century. This was their monastery. Actually, usually we call this kind of structure cloister because it's a closed courtyard with rooms around it. In German, you call every monastery cloister, but in terms of architecture, when you have a closed courtyard like this with the columns around, usually we call it cloister. So it was built by the Franciscan and it was part of their monastery, and then they renovated the 2 floors of the building. So as I said, it was only the gallery out of the whole church. So this wall is the wall of the room, but on the other side, it didn't have a wall because it was open to the space of the church. What we have here is only this part of the church that survived with 2 floors. Since the Franciscans they have only this, they didn't have the rest of the church, they also built staircase. So over there is a staircase, you can see the staircase connecting both floors. The first floor, as I said, is used by Jews as the tomb of King David. It's very interesting when I have more Jewish people in the group. I always ask who has been here before, who came here with school. It's interesting because for many people who come from the more national religious communities, like Kibbutz Rugot, they don't come here. They're not really, they would say it's a place that mentioned the tomb of King David. They would not see that as the tomb of King David. In the past, it was more more oriented Jews used to come here in the last campaign. As I said, this place attracts all kinds of strange people. In the last couple of years, in the last, I would say 20 years since I started guiding, and I'm following the place very closely because I come here very often, you see more and more ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jews coming here, more than in the past. 10 years ago, they did major renovation here with Amit Rehem and the Israel Antiquity Authorities, and since then they changed a bit things inside, and now there's a group of people who settled inside and study all day. It's interesting. I don't know how much you want to talk about it with your groups, but with Jewish groups, I always talk about the changes within the Jewish tradition that happen in tombs of important people, tombs of rabbis, tombs of prophets. There's a whole change.
Consider this the right place.
So I think a lot of people consider it the right place, but I'm saying it still doesn't mean that you come here. Usually, for example, a Muslim, Palestinian Muslim, do we have any Muslim in the group? We have some, right? Yeah. Okay. Have you heard about this place before the tour guide course?
I came here 3 years ago. I brought my family.
And how did you hear about it?
Looked it up.
But it's not a place you know. When you come to Jerusalem, when you come to Kuwait, where do you go?
To the Aqsa, we go to the Dome
right.
But this was something new for us. We went and
The only Muslim Palestinians that I know about this place are connected to tour guides. Because when you bring groups, Muslim groups, they come here. From Turkey, from India, they would come here. But local Muslims, they don't know about the place. So the same thing with this place. It wasn't such a popular place. Definitely some people think that this is the place. Some people they don't ask archaeological questions. What kind of question do you ask? Do you ask archaeologically, this is the right place? Many of the people don't ask this question. Even many of you tourists you're going to guide will not ask the question, is that the correct place? Because they know it's the correct place from here. They don't need the archaeological proof. They don't ask about the archaeological. The same thing for every place. So, as I said, it's interesting to see how tombs of past historical people became in the last 10, 15 years more and more dominant in the religious life of more groups in the Jewish society, and become more Bet Midrash, Yeshiva, synagogue, more than in the past. In the past, you used to come to a place like that and you will not have a separation between men and women. You will not have people sitting and studying the Talmud here. It would be a place where you come, you pray, and you go. And now this place became more settled. So it's interesting to see that. So the first floor is used by Jews. Everyone is welcome to visit. So if you have Muslim tourists, definitely they will be interested to visit the tomb of King David. Don't put a carpet and start praying. You cannot do that, but you can definitely have it an individual prayer. If you have a problem with someone telling you you're not allowed to enter, there's a card here, and you can always call the police because it's open to everyone.
They didn't give me a problem.
So that's the first floor. We're gonna go inside. We're gonna see a Muslim. Some of them study. Well, when they say when I say study the Torah, it's not necessarily the study the 5 books of Moses, but what they study religious studies. They take the Talmud, they study the Talmud, they sit here and study. This is something new in tombs like that. We didn't have it in the past. So there are changes in the place of these sites in the Jewish life of many people. And again, I said I have to admit, I'll admit one thing. It's much easier for me to teach about another religion because I don't get upset. When it comes to my religion, I get upset about everything. I feel that a lot of people, strange people around this place. I don't feel comfortable here as I maybe feel in other Jewish places. Because there are a lot of strange people around here. I mean, you could hear, this is not normative behavior to go and shout when you walk in the street. So, anyway. So the first floor, the Tomb of King David. What are you going to see inside? Again, some people would say, what are you going to see inside? You're going to see this, not sarcophagus because it's empty, but you see this monument, this stone sarcophagus. And then you will see that it sits in a niche. It sits in kind of something that looks like apse, like this. This apse. Again, it's connected to the first church, the first Byzantine church. You will see the stone. We'll be separated, so I'm not going to be with you with the men. I'm going to be with the women. But when you go inside the tomb, the room of the tomb, when you see the tomb, you see the stone, turn your back and look to the top of the wall. You will see some remnants of the ceramic from the Muslim mosque that was there. And again, it's a Crusader building that was turned to a mosque, that was turned to a Jewish place. Okay? It's not, some say it's building with 3 religions. First floor for Jews, second floor for Christian, and third floor for the Muslim. That's not true, because the first floor is holy for Jews, Christian, and Muslim. Second floor, Christian. And then the third floor, it's just a roof. So first floor is holy to all. Now we're praying there. You can have an individual prayer. You cannot put your carpet in prayer floor. When it was in the past Muslim mosque, then only Muslim prayers. So we're going to see that. We're going to see the apse, we're going to see the remnants of the mosque. Then what are we going to do? We're going to go up to the second floor. If by coincidence it's open, then we're going to visit the rooms that's up. If not, we're going to go to the rooftop, and that's where we're going to end. One thing I will say about the second floor, I assume it's closed, but surprise. A lot of people go to the room of the Last Supper, and they expect to see a table.
The same table.
With 13 chairs.